at the Lain-Lain Project. So we're here today at
GMBB KL.
we're visiting the Lain-Lain Project, which is curated by Borneo Laboratory.
Yes. The Lain-Lain Project is a curated exhibition which displays stories collected by the Borneo Laboratory during their transformative journey over the past 4 years. This project revisits shared roots among Bornean, Malayan, and global communities to cultivate a space where differences are celebrated and constructive discussions are nurtured. The exhibition has 3 sections, so let's go and walk through them now.
So this is the first section of Lain-Lain Project. It's the first journey, Serumpun. So Serumpun means a bundle of grass that shares the same roots. So basically this whole section, this big section focuses on the different craft practices between 12 Bornean-based craft communities, or more specifically the states of Sarawak, Sabah, and also Kalimantan as a district. So from reading the information down here, basically Serumpun was a project initiated by Borneo Laboratory, and let's see, this is their book. This is a plug for their book. You can purchase it. Borneo Laboratory and the Glasgow School of Art. Also has some other collaborators, but basically they made a project where they wanted to see the different craft practices of communities in Borneo, and they identified 12 different communities, and these are the different types of crafts that exist and are similar because of our shared roots, Serumpun. And besides just focusing on what the crafts are, which is the second phase, the documentation of craft practices, they also look into the lifestyles of the craft practitioners. So it's like the environment. So this is a rumah adat in Sarawak by the Bidayu community. And this rumah adat, for example, is a space where the community imparts ancestral knowledge and oral traditions to the younger generation. So basically, people from the same community go here to learn more about the crafts, and they pass it down through their generations. So besides that, we have rattan harvesting in Kalimantan, and we have timber harvesting for instrument making in Sarawak, and also bamboo harvesting for bamboo weaving in Kaningal, Sabah. So these focuses on the environments and also the innovations of the different craft practices in Borneo. And then we move on with all of this data that they collected. They compiled it into the Serumpun publication, which is the whole documentation project. And like I said, it's a joint effort between Borneo Laboratory and the Glasgow School of Arts, Innovation and Technology School. And it focuses on the different crafts ecosystem in Borneo. After that Pan-Borneo research trip, we get to see the blend of cultures, how we're connected through how we are Serumpun. So this is the Nantapan, this is the Tidayu, and these are the different rattan hand tools that are used for rattan crafts. And this is a video that focuses on the passing down of craft practices by Asa Esa Films. It focuses on, if I'm not mistaken, Pak Sujianto from Kalimantan, Indonesia. Through the Pan-Borneo research trip, through this project, besides focusing on the different types of crafts, they also highlighted 5 different stories of 5 different people specifically from different parts of Sabah, Sarawak, or Kalimantan. So these are what you see here. These are the banners in the middle. So this banner gives an overall view. There are 5 different people here, and the different arts are like bamboo weaving, musical instrument making, rattan, maestro of Bidai Bengkel. Oh, that sounds interesting. And also Sanggar Serangan Tangan. Yes. You can read it here. Maybe we'll show a close-up. Yes. Yeah, and I really like it, the fact that they look into the craft practices, looked at the different materials that they use, and I think they're already organic materials, mostly. So they're seeing how to integrate sustainability, make it more sustainable, basically, and also increase the longevity of the practices, because this is our culture, and it should be passed down for generations and not be forgotten. So this is basically a whole collection of crafts in Borneo. Hopefully that was a thorough presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so right now we are in the second section of the exhibition, which is the Second Voyage, Big Trip. So in this section, they explain how they went beyond Borneo. So they went across the whole world now. And that is where they track new connections with ancestral wisdoms and rooted practices. So what it basically means is, as they discovered more and talked to more indigenous people and cultural communities, they found that a lot of the practices, the ancestral practices that they did, shared a lot of connections to each other. So it became like a huge web that basically shows in a way, all human beings are interconnected. So if we move here, it starts with number one, the why. They explain why did they do this big trip, why bother going on this huge voyage, why bother exploring outside of Borneo. And it's because ancestral wisdom and rooted practices hold the essential key to accessing the diverse network of global connections. So if you look deeper into these connections, you will basically get the answer to life, in a way. And number two, the process. So they not only recorded videos as what you saw in the television just now, on the television just now, they also did podcasts, they also wrote down notes, they also took a lot of pictures, they took sounds, and if you can hear the background, there are speakers playing the podcast, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, they played around with a lot of different medias and mediums in order to capture their whole voyage. And this is basically just an example of how or what kind of themes they explored in the book, which brings us to this. So similar to how the first section of the exhibition, it all got condensed into a book, this second section is also condensed into a book called 3 Drops of Rice Wine, which we will look at later. And then number 4, the captured sounds. This is basically where they introduce their podcast, which you can see here. There are 3 episodes as of now, and we will link their podcast in the description if we remember to do so. But basically, episode 1 talks about navigation. So how they navigate through the world using their ancient practices, using their cultural wisdom. Number 2 is purposeful sound. So basically how they use sound to navigate their life, and also how sound influences their daily lives, how they use it for hunting, how they use it for gathering, how they use it for basically planning out their daily life. And then number 3 is handing down, and this is I think a very relevant topic, especially with myself and Stephanie, because we are youths and we are also trying to learn things through hand-me-down information, hand-me-down knowledge. And basically this part of the podcast talks about how other people in other states or other places are handing down their cultural wisdom. So there seems to be a connection or a similarity also, where a lot of ancient traditions are not documented properly, so it's only been through oral sharing, and that's why there is no proper documentation until now, which you can find in the book. And number 5 is basically the excerpts from the 3 Drops of Rice Wine book. I'm not going to read all the excerpts. You will have to get the book to read them. But all these excerpts, you can see that they are from different parts of the world. So there's from Penang, Malaysia, Amis, Taiwan, Kenyal, Malaysia, Melanau, Malaysia. There's Tibetan from Bhutan. And there's also the Bunun from Taiwan. So yes, where the first section focused on Bornean practices, the second section focuses on the world, basically. And if you could kindly, whoop, this this long mural, I would say, or picture or painting, is basically, I would say, or I would phrase it as a painting or a collection of all the wisdoms, all the traditions that we have yet to learn and are learning. And this huge, long painting is actually condensed into this book, which is also for sale. So in this book, the painting is actually divided into several sections where they actually title each section and also give a description for it. And if we see here, this is the Three Drops of Rice Wine book, and it's translated in English and Chinese. And here you can actually read the book starting from any chapter. That's what the author said, because each chapter is independent in its own way, that you don't have to read it as you do with a usual book, chronologically. You can just open any section and start from there. And the podcast and the book are, not to say independent from each other, but the podcast does not have content from the book. So if you want to have further research, you can look into the podcast after reading the book, or you can listen to the podcast and then read the book, and you will gain more knowledge. And that's it for the second section.
Boxes become troublesome for many of minority community in Malaysia. We try to be progressive because we are in 2024 now. we cannot stick on the boxes that been developed in 18th century or whatever.
by the Borneo Laboratory. So to summarize, we went through 3 sections. The first being Serumpun,
Serumpun project,
and then
the Big
Ship Project, and then
Lain-Lain
in Kuala Lumpur. So there was a lot of information that we learned today.
It was very enlightening.
Very enlightening, especially as a part of the Lain-Lain community ourselves. We learned a lot about other Lain-Lain communities in Malaysia.
Lain-Lain in Lain-Lain.
And we're gonna share our thoughts.
No?
Zoom!
Hello.
Hi.
We're now at a cafe and it's now reflection time. So, do you want to go first?
Sure. There were 3 sections just now in the Lain-Lain Project, and they all had different stories arranged in chronological order, from Serumpun, and then the big trip, and then Lain-Lain in Kuala Lumpur. Before we went, we watched the video,
We watched the video Sama-Sama in Lain-Lain.
and that really struck me because it was a conversation between 5 people discussing about the necessity of having the box Lain-Lain, or the necessity of even having having to define your race all the time.
True.
Being categorized in boxes. So where it's actually needed and where it's like really unnecessary. And coming from a ethnic background where it's always Lain-Lain, we always have to tick the box Lain-Lain. The video resonated with me a lot, and I'm sure you felt the same way also.
Yes, true, because before this, I didn't really give much thought to the Lain-Lain thing. But then after a while, you start to realize, why am I categorized as Lain-Lain when I'm literally a Malaysian as well? Why is there not just a checkbox for Malaysian, non-Malaysian, or why is there a checkbox in the first place? And this is a common topic also, like among family, I guess. There's always debate about whether to make a common term for Sabahans and a common term for Sarawakians. Yeah, it's just a very controversial debate that we will not be talking about now, but perhaps in the future. But I enjoyed the exhibition. This is my second time going there, and every time there's always something new that I'm learning, something that I did not read the first time, which surprised me. And I don't think we've listened to the podcast.
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't. So that is extra material for us to research afterwards.
I also thought the books were interesting.
The books, yeah. I wanted to get the books, but I forgot.
The one with the picture?
The one with the pictures. I think that one was the most interesting so far. But the books, I think three drops of rice wine, where they talked about the connections in environment, in wellness, in emotions. Is it something the connections between all the different practices? I think that would make for a very interesting read. Not that I'm not interested in Serumpun, but it's just I would like to read 3 Drops of Rice Wine first, so might be an investment after this. We have to go and look for it.
It's a shame that we missed out on the launch. The first few weeks there were talks. Yeah, but
We were too busy.
Going to the exhibition ourselves, we learned a lot anyways. There was a lot of information that we could read for ourselves. And the books were just there for anyone to read. Yeah, and you could listen to the Spotify.
Can listen to
online
podcast, but you cannot take the books home unless you go and buy them.
So for those of you who cannot attend, we hope that this video would be enough and comprehensive.
Can visit Borneo
Definitely.
Borneo
Laboratory's website. Oh, they have everything there.
All of their videos are also available on YouTube. They're all linked.
really go check out the line Sama-sama di Lain-Lain video. That one really spoke to me personally. Probably.
And me, yeah. We watched it together.
Yes.
We took notes.
Yes. Do come visit if you can. It's until October
20th.
Are you sure?
Yes. It's until 20th October.
20th. So if you're in town, in KL, go to GMBB and visit Borneo Laboratory's Lain-Lain Project exhibition. Check out their links. Everything will be in the description. And
That's all. Thank you.
bye-bye. Okay, got it. Outro.